All right, Luke. Well, why don't you get started? We have Luke Sullivan, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I apologize. I'm not sure what's happening with my camera, but as long as you can hear me and see the PowerPoint, we're good. Um, so today is the feast day of St. John Henry Newman. And this is a quote of his that I particularly like. I have a place in God's counsels, in God's world, which no one else has. Whether I be rich or poor, despised or esteemed, God knows me and calls me by my name. God has created me to do some definite service. Somehow I am necessary for God's purposes. As necessary in my place, I have a part in this great work. I am a link in a chain, a bond of connection between persons. God has not created me for naught. I shall do good. I shall do God's work. I shall be an angel of peace, a preacher of truth in my own place. Here at the well, we know that we're not just called to be angels of peace to each other, but to the world. And it's not just us that's called to be preachers of truth in our own place, but all of creation is called to be preachers of truth in its own place. The preaching of flowers, the floral nectar, pollen, and petals are an important food source for a huge range of animals, from bees and beetles to birds and bats. They help to purify water and prevent erosion through roots that hold the soil in place and foliage that buffers the impact of rain as it falls to the earth. The role of ocean porpoises keep their aquatic environment in balance. They eat fish, squid, cuttlefish, crustaceans, and are themselves a source of food for sharks and other creatures. What is the purpose of the desert? They act as carbon sink. That means that bacteria in sands help in storing CO2 to prevent it from getting into the atmosphere. It provides a unique habitat for specialized plants and animals adapted to extreme dryness. But what is the purpose of the Joshua tree? It symbolizes the strength and beauty that can arise from dysfunction. It plays a vital role in the desert ecosystem by providing habitat, serving as a food source, regulating microclimate, and stabilizing the soil. What is the purpose of waterfalls? They purify water by turning waste into nutrients for plants, by adding oxygen to the water for fish. They create unique habitats for a variety of aquatic plants and animals, including fish, butterflies, frogs, and birds. What is the purpose of lakes? They moderate temperatures and affect the climate of the surrounding land. They store water, which helps regulate stream flow, recharge groundwater aquifers, and moderate droughts. They provide a diverse range of habitats for aquatic plants, fish, invertebrates, and microorganisms. What is the purpose of rivers? They are home to many species of plants and animals, including fish, amphibians, birds, insects, and reptiles. Rivers provide food for larger animals, such as fish that eat invertebrates and terrestrial insects. They connect habitats, allowing animals to move between them. So we recognize that each of us, each entity that exists on this earth has a purpose, plays a role, and yet so often we want to be barriers to that. We recognize we have a role in our fragile ecosystem, not just with each other, but with creation. This is a peace wall that was built in Northern Ireland to separate Catholics and Protestants. 25 years after the peace accords, these walls still stand. What walls have we created in our own lives and the world that prevent unity from being fostered with each other and all creation? So let's take a minute or two to think about what walls have we created in our own lives and the world that prevent unity from being fostered with each other and with all creation. I have a place in God's counsel, in God's world, which no one else has. Whether I be rich or poor, despised or esteemed, God knows me and calls me by my name. God has created me to do some definite service. Somehow, I am necessary for God's purposes. As necessary in my place, I have a part in this great work. I am a link in a chain, a bond of connection between persons. God has not created me for naught. I shall do good. I shall do God's work. I shall be an angel of peace and a preacher of truth in my own place. So let us not just work for peace, but to be it. Amen.
Amen.